Zach Brown. Quarterback from Bismarck, North Dakota, number 11, Carson Wentz. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 North Dakota State Varsity Football Seniors. And the rest of the Thundering Herd.
It's an emotional day here at the Fargo Dome. Once the seniors are announced, it is the final regular season home games for these guys, and the accomplishments were mentioned, LT, and boy, it's a pretty special group of young men.
It really is, and I think one of the things that's kind of neat about that was Ben LeCompte and the ovation he got because of LeCompte. In many respects, people around here have come to appreciate the art of punting and what it can do for your team. He's been so good.
I thought it was kind of neat, too, that Carson Wentz
Put
is
his
in uniform with the pads and everything coming out. Certainly Carson
he's
not playing today, but hopefully at some point they can get deep enough to allow him to get back in time for a playoff game or two.
Yeah, that was the message that he had during his senior day talk as one of the captains to the team on Friday after practice was, you guys just go out there and just try and give me one more opportunity to put this jersey on.
And I think Joe Hegg, we talked about in the pregame, Joe Hegg, Jedry Sear, some of these walk-ons that have come in to be such important pieces of this team, especially as seniors with such a young group.
Yeah, Brian Schatz, another one of those guys who come in here just begging for an opportunity, and the coaching staff as a walk-on gave him that opportunity, and then they get in with Coach Kramer and everything else and build themselves into a football player.
We'll take a quick timeout and be back with the kickoff after this. Here between North Dakota State and Missouri State in the Missouri Valley regular season finale here at the Dome. And LT, Missouri State, we haven't talked much about them, and a big reason why is the Bears have frankly struggled in a lot of areas under first-year head coach that's trying to rebuild this program.
Yeah, and Dave Steckel, too, we should say, is here. He's missed the last two games. He had some retina surgery on his eye a couple of weeks ago and was able to make the trip and drove through all the snow to get here. But yeah, Missouri State just statistically such an odd anomaly that they are last in the country in points scored and last in the country in points given up. So that's the main reason we haven't talked a lot about the Bears so far.
Beth Houle is on the sidelines for us today and has a PetroServe USA sideline report. Beth.
Hey guys, we're expecting to see a deliberate attack from NDSU's offense today. Easton Stick has been an outstanding quarterback as a redshirt freshman, as an underclassman. They're looking to see some improvement out of him this week. They said that Youngstown State was a tough game for him just because it was so fast, so quick, and such a tough defense. They're going to work some deliberate plays this week, and also in that, Tim Polisek saying that he'd like to get some deliberate plays in for some of these seniors that have meant so much to this NDSU football team. And although the Bison offense is looking to get better today and prepare for what they hope is another long playoff run.
All right, Beth, thank you so much. And LT, I think what, Tim Polisek, Matt Entz, the two offensive and defensive coordinators, the two we've talked to this week, said, we would really like to get a lot of guys in the game today. And I think earlier than later, we've seen C.J. Smith is not playing, Jordan Champion's playing. And again, I think the hope is get by this game without those guys, get a bye week before the playoffs begin. Yeah,
but when coaches tell you that, that's code for we want to build a big lead. We want to build it early to get the opportunity to do some things like you're talking about. And that means, quite frankly, that, the guys up front on both sides of the ball have to do what they need to do. The offensive line needs to grind it out. Missouri State's given up a ton of yards on the ground so far this year. And the defensive side of things, if they can control up front, it's not really going to matter, I don't think, too much if Smith and Champion are playing at corner.
And just to give you an idea, last week against Northern Iowa in a 41-0 loss, the Panthers rushed 63 times for 439 yards against the Bears. So certainly NDSU has a chance to maybe do some of that today as Ben LeCompte is on for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. And Peterson Farm Seed always proud to bring you that Bison kickoff as well as a product lineup that'll give you every reason to stand tall. One area where Missouri State really likes what they have is in kick returns. Deion Holloman, a sophomore from Camden, Arkansas, averaging right around 22 yards a return. This one to the goal line. to the 14. Return still on his feet. Not bad considering the circumstances, as that one is taken by Zach Hoover, a backup wide receiver, and Missouri State will start at their own 15-yard line.
Well, it looked like LeCompte was kicking away from Holloman. He's on pace to break some yards in terms of returning and kick return yards. I guess that's a little bit as the byproduct of how many touchdowns you've given up.
There's a look at Brody Lambert, who has struggled. The Bears only averaging 71 pass yards a game. Lambert, 3 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, completing 54% of his passes. His dad actually played at Texas Tech. He's originally from Arlington, Texas.
The Bears with a lot of zone read stuff, but most of the time that's because your quarterback is a runner. Lambert isn't much of a runner.
A little bit of room this time for Ryan Heaston. Gain of 3 up to the 18. Take a look at your Shield starting lineup, starting with that Bison defense. A unit that has stayed relatively healthy and is starting to gel at the right time. As we mentioned, C.J. Smith, Jordan Champion not starting today. The front four up front has been very good. Nick DeLuca, the leading tackler, almost 2-1 in tackles to the next closest man, MJ Stump.
Yeah, Allison's a corner, Reed's the other corner.
Oh, boy. Jailbreak. Lambert runs for his life. He is swallowed up for a 3-yard loss back to the 15. Nate Tangway there to bring him down for a loss of 3.
To be honest, it looked like Brody did a pretty good job not to get swallowed up immediately. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay, trying to fake the run, and here comes just a wave of green jerseys, and then Tangway running him down for the loss. That's a sack.
Missouri State only 24% on third down this season. They got a tough one here in a hostile environment at 3rd and 10. 4 receivers into formation. Lambert to throw. Here comes the pressure. Ball is lost, and it is almost recovered. And the Bears, I think, got back on top of it for a safe.
No, touchdown.
At the last moment, a Bison came in to make the recovery.
I think that's Caleb Butler that got on top of it.
It looked like DeLuca was going to fall on it for a touchdown, and he overran it. Let's take a look at the Nodak Mutual Insurance replay.
Boy, the ball just gets blasted out of there. And I think it was Menard who hit him initially to get the ball loose, and then it's teasing DeLuca right here. He's just like, come on, ball, get here. And it squirts away from him, and then Butler wins the battle to the football. So a defensive score early on.
Cam Peterson on for the extra point. Peterson boots it through. And a minute and a half into the ball game, North Dakota State wreaking havoc in the Missouri State backfield. And Caleb Butler, his first career touchdown, the walk-on.
Yeah, Caleb, the redshirt freshman, he's from Coon Rapids. He came in here, and you talk about the kids who have earned playing time. He's one that has done that. I mean, he took a little bit of advantage because, you know, some injury situations, but when he certainly got his chance, he earned his spot kind of into that defensive rotation. He's playing a little bit more now because Stanley Jones had that knee issue with the surgery that he dealt with last week, and then Butler's able to get a touchdown. How nice is that? Your offense hasn't ran a play yet, and you're up by 7.
And Butler admitting earlier this season, hey, I still got a lot to learn. There's no question about it. When asked what he needed to improve on most, he almost rolled his eyes and threw down his shoulder and said, my technique has to get so much better. So at least he recognizes where he needs to get better and improve coming up. And if you're Chris Kleiman, that's exactly what you wanted to see. An early lead, hitting Missouri State deep. They'll try to tack on more here.
And when you're a team in the position that the Bears are, when, you know, just things have not gone well, it's kind of snowballed on you in a bad kind of way, and you come out, arguably the toughest place in the Valley to play, and you cough one up right off the bat. So that's exactly the opposite of what Missouri State wanted.
Ball falls off the tee as Ben LeCompte gets set for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff.
Must be the wind, huh? We had a little wind last week.
Holloman deep again along with Hoover.
They switch sides.
Deep. Yeah, and Holloman will actually get a shot at this one 3 yards deep, and he's going to bring it out. As a lane, and Holloman almost squeaks through, and a nice return for the sophomore up to the 30.
That lane looked pretty wide there for a while, but Matt Plank was one of the guys in there that helped kind of close it. Plank didn't make the tackle, but he slowed him down enough to make it only a 32 or 33 yard return.
Chris Board, the one finishing off Holloman there, and you can see the explosiveness for the young man. So Lambert will bring the Missouri State offense back out. Inside handoff. Keyston again, stacked up by Brian Schatz after a gain of 1.
Well, in this formation, it's really important that the defensive line do its job because DeLuca's the only linebacker in this set. So Schatz plays off his block. It's a very, very young and inexperienced offensive line that NDSU is going against. Schatz played off that block and got in there to make the tackle.
Jalen Allison and Dakota Reed making the starts at corners today. The first career start for both. And this pass is complete. And this is to a young man. We weren't even sure if he was going to play today. That is Malik Earl making the catch. The leading receiver did not play last week as we take a look at the Shield starting lineup for that MSU offense. Hoover, we mentioned. Christopher, an interesting story. His dad was actually on the former staff.
He was the offensive coordinator.
And everybody very young, especially in the offensive line. 3 freshmen and a sophomore start up front for Missouri State.
Just to follow up your point on Earl, the last young man who made that catch, great to see him playing. He was carted off the field 2 weeks ago against Youngstown.
Leading receiver, 27 receptions now in the season. Keyston again swallowed up after a gain of 2. Ambrosius coming in to once again make a tackle. Maybe Brad Ambrosius playing his best game last week, LT.
Yeah, he had a sack and was in there in a couple of hurries. Absolutely, Ambrosius on that defensive end doing very well. There is Brad, number 97. He's a junior.
6 tackles for loss this season. Outside run, and Heaston's got some room this time. And how about the shiftiness of Ryan Heaston, one of the few seniors that is seeing time, and another first down for Missouri State up to the 41.
One of the ongoing themes just in talking with people about Missouri State this week was that despite the losses, you know, and Coach Steckel and his staff, there's been no real sense of packing it in or just trying to get the season over. It's follow the process, follow what you want to do, establish what you want to do. This is an offense that wants to run the ball. It's important to run the ball, and they will try to run it. And so far in this series, it's worked for a couple of first downs.
Easton again inside. Small crease taken down by Butler after a gain of 3. But again, Houston coming in only had 392 yards, only averaging 3.8 yards a carry. So running the football has been a challenge.
Well, it's better than passing. I mean, this is a team that's only averaging 109 yards throwing. And in today's college world per game, that's not much. 120, well, just a little less than 130 yards rushing, so it's not much there either. But the key is that it is a run-first offense.
Lambert will throw. And this one is complete again, and he finds Earl once again near a first down, and he's got it up to the 30-yard line.
Pretty good second effort trying to run out of the arms of Allison. Jalen was given the slant. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. There you see, overplaying the outside, given the inside. That's where the help is, but he gets another 3 yards after Stump hits him, so real nice job to get the first.
So Missouri State responding here. They've moved 50 yards so far on this drive. Tight formation. Lambert will throw, and this pass is incomplete. Hoover the intended target, and a flag comes out.
The flag at the point of where the block was being made. The pass,
also one on the near side.
Okay, so someone must have been lined up offside. Moved.
Illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
So the Bison will take the penalty and back up Missouri State to the 35.
Well, that's the first hiccup on this drive from the Bears. Otherwise, it's been pretty good to get down to the NDSU 30 before the 5-yard penalty.
The Bears have not taken many shots deep. A lot of stuff they run is underneath in terms of running routes. Lambert will throw. Time, now running out of time, and it's intercepted! Unbelievable play by Brad Ambrosius.
Now 2 serious and 2 big defensive plays. Now Lambert gets himself in trouble. He's looking downfield to the left. That's covered, then tries to slide it off to his halfback, Easton, and he didn't see it coming, and Ambrosius did.
2 turnovers on their first 2 possessions.
There you saw Ambrosius go up into the air thinking, I'm going to try to knock this pass down. Well, the pass wasn't a deep one. It was a short one, and it came right to Brad.
First career interception for the junior from De Pere, Wisconsin. Three backs in the backfield, Stick in the shotgun. First offensive play for NDSU. Nice defensive play that time as Bruce Anderson is taken down for a minimal gain. Take a look at the NDSU offense on the Shields starting lineup. Offensive line relatively healthy. Stick making his 5th start at quarterback. We talked about Bonnet and Sear, 2 of the unsung heroes, both seniors. King Frazier establishing himself as the starting tailback for North Dakota State.
Bison in an eye right here, but that 3-back setup, something we'll probably see quite a bit today.
Play action. Stick.
He's got it moving.
Downfield has made Moody. Right through his hands. Incomplete.
Well, Nate's going to want that one back.
Trey Belts was trying to get back in coverage as quickly as possible, but number 80 should have had this one.
Yep, he should have, but if anything, take away off that play, just remember how well and how easy that Stick flows off to his left. He really throws the ball well, rolling out to his left. For most quarterbacks, that's one of the most difficult things to do. He makes it look relatively easy.
Tim Polisic telling us that Easton actually had kind of a bad back a little bit through the Youngstown State game after taking a shot early and limited some of what he could do. Stick will throw on 3rd down. This right on target to Shepard. He might be about a yard short of a 1st down. We'll see where they mark it.
He's going to be a yard short right at the 40, 4th and 1 from the 40. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Coach Kleiman keeps the offense out.
Here's your Missouri State defense starting lineup, also brought to you by Shields. We've got to keep an eye on Colby Isbell. Young man that's really come a long way. The NDSU coaching staff very high on that young man. Thinks he has a chance to be very good, just a sophomore. But Dylan Cole is no doubt the rock solid center of that defense. He is 2nd in the country in tackles.
Every game he's led the team in tackles. It is 4th down.
Back to Power. Chase Morlock has room. And Morlock just about broke it. Still picked up a big gain on 4th down all the way to the 27.
Boy, in the first half of this year, we know how important Chase Morlock has been to the offense, and he's dealt with a high ankle sprain. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay, you see him almost breaking this one all the way to the end zone, but blocked extraordinarily well. Nice little seam. You want to time it just right. Morlock hit it right after, you hit the hole right behind the pulling guard. 1st down.
Trey Belts made the touchdown saving tackle perhaps on that play. Back to the ground game. Boy, more tough running as King Frazier carries tacklers for about 8 yards up to the 19-yard line.
Well, the last 2 plays have kind of showed you the way the season has gone a little bit for Missouri State. They've been manhandled up front. The Bison, first point of contact on a play that's run through an A gap is about, 7 yards or so deep.
NDSU in the Superior Inc. red zone. 39 possessions in the red zone this season. 29 times they've scored touchdowns. 74%, pretty good.
Very.
Play action. Easton Stick looking downfield for a receiver, and Zach Fra unable to come up with it. It is batted away. Nice job defensively by Eric Phillips.
Not a surprise that Bra gets a shot to the end zone early because he is tied for the all-time touchdown receiving mark with Tim Strelo. The Bison felt if they could get an opportunity to maybe get Vra that record, they'd go to it early. And we've just seen him come up with so many great catches. Even on the replay, I half expected him to catch it.
So 3rd and a long 1. Frazier stopped initially. Second surge may have gotten it to the 17. One of the backup linebackers, Sean Bernard, got in there to make the tackle.
But Alex Jones, number 44, did a pretty good job at the point of attack. He kind of slowed the momentum of Jeremy Kelly. Kelly trying to pull through there, so that's why Frazier needed the second effort, because of a pretty good physical play there by a young kid from Defiance, Missouri. Again, young, that's Missouri State in a nutshell. They're just young all over the place. 18 freshmen have played for Missouri State. 13 of the 22 starters on the 2 deep are freshmen or sophomores.
Stick, play action. Open receiver there behind their intended target is Bruce Anderson, incomplete.
Maybe a hold here coming against NDSU, but that's just a pass that Stick's going to want back. He just misfired. He did that a couple of times early against Youngstown too. Not in plays similar to that. There were passes to the flat.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Jeremy Kelly called for the hold.
Right guard. Oh, yep. Kelly went over backwards. He grabbed some jersey and brought the guy who got him in that position back with him.
One of those interior linemen, James Barnes, is one of those seniors that has stuck it out. And I know it hasn't been easy, but getting the buy-in of the seniors has been really helpful in the progression. Again, Missouri State's still a ways away, but a lot of credit to that senior class from the people we talked to, LT.
Yeah, Barnes not big. He's 5'10", about 240 pounds, playing interior. He's one of the team captains, so yeah, it's been pretty solid.
Missouri State again all over that one as King Frazier is taken down. Nice job defensively to make that tackle by Daryl Coburn, one of the backup defensive ends.
Number 91, Daryl Coburn.
We don't know where this drive's going to end up, but you certainly go back to Missouri State's last possession where, you know, the power of the penalty. A penalty is such a momentum killer at certain stages of the game, and that holding call makes it 2nd and long now.
2nd and 20 from the 27.
You want to go back to power of the penalty, how about the interference call last week?
Oh boy.
The pass to Moody.
They're still talking about that all
They
over
are.
social media. Stick delivers on target this time to Urzendowski, who gets inside the 10 on a nice little move. He's going to be very close to a first down, maybe a yard short.
Well, I really like the way that he dips his shoulder and gets some momentum going back forward. Check it out. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. Urzendowski makes the catch and then dips that shoulder back in to get upfield and almost to first down. Now it's 3rd and short.
Jared Bashore there to push him out. A nice pickup of 19 yards on that play as we tick down towards 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
If you're just joining Bison football late, just Stick, the quarterback, Urzendowski, the receiver who just hooked up there, same high school from Omaha, Creighton Prep.
Back to power, and Morlock's got room. Morlock comes up just short of scoring another touchdown, and Christian Hoffman came in to make the stop there for Missouri State. Will set up 1st and goal.
Oh, what an awesome job of everyone up front. Jedry Sear got a really good block in there. You see Connor Wentz making a block down by the goal line. Boy, the right side of the Missouri State defense just collapsed on that play by the Bison.
2 carries, 20 yards for Chase Morlock so far today. The hope is that the Moorhead Jr. is getting healthier here as the end of the season. Inside to Frazier. Cole was there to meet him, but he still got in for a touchdown. Bears thought they had him stopped.
Brian, the thing I like about that is how after the penalty you get yourself momentum stopped, you make the nice play to Urzendowski, and this is just, again, power football. You're running up the middle, putting hat on hat, and Frazier's trying to get in, and he just got in. That's all you need to do.
Look at King Frazier, the junior transfer from Nebraska, scoring his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Peterson As the extra point, and North Dakota State leads at 14-0 early on the A Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Today's game brought to you in high children that matter. Log on to parentslead.org for more information. North Dakota State 14-0. Lead it with 5:28 to go here in the first quarter. And LT, we were talking at the break that physically the Bison clearly have an advantage.
Well, right before kickoff, we were talking about how NDSU's offensive and defensive lines want to establish itself in terms of just the physical power that you have over your opponent. Well, we've seen it. It's there already.
Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your playing season with Peterson Farm Seed. Holloman again is going to bring it out. Hops over a tackler and then took a shot. Nice special teams play. I think about Jalen Wimbush who got in there. Bruce Anderson also in on that stop.
Well, Missouri State did something. They kind of stacked their two guys back there so you can't kick away from one of them, trying to make sure that Holloman has a chance to get the return. Again, he leads the country in FCS in combined kickoff and punt returns. And he's probably gone over the single season record already with his 2 returns so far today.
We'll take a timeout and be back. 14-0. North Dakota State leads it on the A Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. As we take a look at the New Seed fan cam. The Bison faithful coming out for the final regular season home game to honor the seniors and hope to send their team off with a victory and a first-round bye in the FCS playoffs. Of course, we will talk about the playoff scenario throughout the day. Selection show is tomorrow at 10 a.m.
And the Bison football show with Chris Kleiman is right after that at 10:30.
So we should have a pretty good idea of what to expect, who that potential second-round matchup will be with North Dakota State. Lambert back out there, trailing 14-0. Inside handoff again to Houston. Cuts to the outside and then dropped right at the 21-yard line. Jalen Wimbush coming in along with Robbie Grimsley.
I think Grimsley was the first guy there. And that's the tackle the safety has to make. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay is going to get to the edge, makes a nice adjustment there, and then you see Grimsley with a little help from DeLuca making that tackle. And tackling last week, that was an issue. And Matt Ensign, when we talked with the defense coordinator, he still was talking about the lack of it last week.
Grimsley came in again that time after a short gain of 1.
But why can Grimsley come down that fast, that hard, that early in a running situation? Because of what you said earlier, Brian, the ineffectiveness of getting the ball downfield through the air, so you can't really hold the safeties very long when you can't, and you haven't shown any ability to hit a big play through the air.
3rd and 4. Lambert under pressure again, gets rid of it. Looking for Christoffel, incomplete, but Lambert again had 3 green jerseys right in his back pocket.
He had no choice but to get rid of that ball when he did. That's not necessarily when he wanted to. He needed to get rid of it at that time because he got swallowed up. Pass pattern doesn't develop. He's looking off to his left. You can see the cut hasn't even been made yet when he threw the ball, but he needed to get out of there because the Bison were coming, and coming hard.
So on for another punt. Chris Solons, his 92nd punt of the season already. A Missouri Valley record. Perkins starts at about his own 27, gains a few yards up to the 31. That's where North Dakota State will have it with a 2-touchdown lead.
Yeah, you did hear Brian right, folks. That was his 92nd punt. That means coming into today, he had 91 punts in 10 games. That's a lot.
Well, Solon's actually done a nice job as a punter. Came in 2011, was cut from the team, did not make it in fall, came back in the spring, won the starting job, and has had the job ever since. Taking a look at our Bobcats game recap. For NDSU, 11 plays, 49 yards in 5 minutes. Capped off by that King Frazier touchdown run.
Key play, probably the pass to Urzendowski where he made it 3rd and 1 after it was 2nd and long.
Outside handoff. Room to roam on the outside. Keeping his feet is Frazier. All the way to the 45. Good enough for a Bison first down.
Well, the freshman Bruce Anderson, one of the 2 guys leading the way, and he really gets a nice downfield block. Chase Morlock, 25, with a nice cut. Then Anderson gets the first down because of Anderson's block. Frazier gets that first down. That's why that play is, that formation, the Delta formation is what the Bison call it, but that 3 backs, you can immediately get 2 extra guys without having to pull a lineman out on the edge real quick.
Frazier on the sidelines for this play. And this time it is Lance Dunn running to the outside. And how about the speed of the redshirt freshman running over a tackler for another first down all the way to the 43. Eric Phillips in there to make the stop.
That play is not designed to go as wide as Dunn had to make it, but he had to make an adjustment from the defense. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. Defender bellies it out a little bit, but you're right about the speed. Dunn was able to get his shoulders squared back up. And again, Chase Morlock, another good initial first block.
Dunn limited with a hamstring injury over the last couple of months, but getting healthier and healthier every game. Anderson stops, keeps moving forward, keeps his feet, able to get something out of nothing, maybe a couple of yards.
I tell you, Dylan Cole didn't make the tackle, but he kind of made the play. He was the first guy on the edge and closed that edge off quickly. And a player down there for the Bears.
Injury timeout.
Eric Phillips is who I thought I saw that was.
Did look like number 10. So we take a look at our North Dakota Soybean Council trivia question. How many North Dakota kids are on the Bison football roster? Well, that's one we should actually kind of know. We'll have the answer for you coming up.
Does that mean we have time to count? Because
Sure,
I don't know right
We do
off.
have the rosters in front of us.
I do not know right off the top of my head. And how many of them had soybeans this week?
I'm sure they had soybean and something. Being told that King Frazier is heading off the field to get his hand taped. Try to get a report on exactly the situation there. Hopefully not too serious.
Yeah, with playoffs looming, that's obviously one thing that goes unsaid for NDSU in this situation. They don't want to deal with any injury situations today.
Again, if North Dakota State wins, they win at least a share of the Missouri Valley Conference title. Stick rolling under pressure, getting away.
Sweet move.
And Stick fires on the run, had a receiver, and this one is incomplete. Looking for Urzendowski, who was open, but that knee came down just before he was able to make control of the catch.
Yeah, you saw that right, Brian. We'll see it here on the replay. Stick with a nifty move with his feet, and yeah, that knee's on the line. The ball doesn't hit the turf. Urzendowski does a real good job of keeping the ball off the field, but as soon as that knee hits the white part there, that sideline, he becomes ineligible to catch it.
North Dakota State, a third down coming up, 3rd and 8 from the 42. Guys, in 50% on this down throughout the season, 2 of 3 today.
I was going to say, despite the ineffectiveness last week.
Stick to throw, flips it out, and this one is tipped up and incomplete. Darius Anderson, the intended target. Nice job defensively by Missouri State to break that one up.
Stick trying to wait at the last, the possible time to get his receiver, in this case Anderson, and that was Cole that kind of blew that play up again. Boy, Dylan Cole has, obviously he's been on the field a bunch, but he has 66 more tackles than the next guy.
Yeah, 138 on the season. What an amazing number. LeCompte's going to try to pin the Bears deep. Holloman takes the fair catch at the 9-yard line. LeCompte does his job, and the Bears backed up once again.
You really kind of take it for granted that that's what you're going to get out of Ben LeCompte.
Take a look at our North Dakota Soybean Council trivia question. How many North Dakota kids are on the Bison football roster? The answer is 18. I remember back in the day, LT, when the announcements of Division I came and everybody thought the day and age where North Dakota kids could play Bison football were over. Boy, they have been
almost the opposite. Yeah.
Vital to the success of this program.
And a lot of them, like we talked, have become walk-ons or preferred walk-ons type of a situation. And those kids are coming here. They're passing up oftentimes scholarship offers from other schools to come here to walk on.
Levi Jordheim, Nate Moody, among others. Boy, not much room that time. Crowder was able to make something out of nothing. He looked like he was stopped in the backfield, was able to get one.
Well, if he keeps running straight and doesn't try to juke, number 49 is going to paste him pretty hard. You saw DeLuca kind of go to his knees and keep him in front of him. But yeah, I think that was just an instinctive move to not get hit hard by the top tackler from NDSU.
Kalen Crowder, a sophomore.
They like him.
Yeah, they really do. And he is pretty good out of the backfield with catching the football as well.
Yeah, the Bears' one win was against Chadron State.
Another throw right in stride, another first down. And one guy that has made some plays here is Malik Earl, who, again, we weren't even sure was going to play today. Leading receiver by far for this Missouri State squad, and they really needed him today to move the football.
To be honest, I didn't think he was going to play. Just a good hard slant. You can tell that Allison was playing kind of a soft corner. They were giving him, it's not a press. And there's the slant, and nice first down.
So a first down coming up here for the Bears from the 23. Bison showing some pressure. Lambert throws. This ball is tipped up, and it is incomplete. Oh, boy, that could have been dangerous for the Bears once again, who already have 2 turnovers today. Beth Houle is on the sidelines for us today and has a PetroServe USA sideline report.
That's right, guys. You're talking about some of these walk-ons. This senior class has several who have proven themselves and bought into this program. Not necessarily North Dakota guys, but Joe Haig, a former walk-on. Ryan Schatz, a former walk-on who prides himself on mentoring these young guys to keep that program strong and alive.
Beth, thank you very much. Inside handoff, boy. Not much room as Nick DeLuca was not going to let Crowder get away this time, and he lost 3.
Yeah, he's like, okay, you can't dance out of this one now. Despite the fact that there's been a couple of slants that have gone for first downs, it's when there's not much of a threat in the pass game, these guys can just tee off on the run. DeLuca with a TFL, tackle for loss.
Ticking down towards the end of the first quarter. Missouri State backed up 3rd and 12. Lambert Under pressure again, drops it off across the middle to Crowder, who's hit by MJ Stump. Lost the football! And I think Missouri State almost got back on top, but no, the Bison did. Greg Menard came out with it. And another turnover here as the first quarter ends.
Stump just made the initial contact and then went for the ball, ripped it out of there.
And that'll do it. For the end of the first quarter, MJ Stump, another North Dakota kid from Harvey, rips out the football. It looked like Missouri State had it, but Greg Menard able to come up with it.
His fourth forced fumble this year.
We'll be back with the second quarter after this. Bison lead at 14-0. Gary Pinkel at Missouri said we are going to hit Kansas City and some other areas around us very hard. We have a specific plan. We're going to stick to it. We're not going to deviate from it, despite some of the early losses here in his career at Missouri State. Bison offense back to work in the flat. This pass is complete. Lucas Albers, one of those seniors, makes his first catch of the day up to the 18.
One more point on Steckel from around this part of the world. You may remember him if you're a Vikings fan. His brother Les was a head coach for a year in Minnesota.
Again, we weren't even sure if Dave Steckel was going to be here. Had emergency retina surgery a few weeks ago.
I'm surprised he's here because he had to travel on the wheels, and we know all the snow that Sioux Falls and South got.
NDSU back in the Superior Inc. red zone once again. Stretch play. This is Morlock trying to work off tackles, cuts up inside, and eventually dragged down on the play by Alex Jones, among others, from Missouri State for a gain of 3.
But Morlock's able to get it in third and short. That's where the Bison like it. In terms of you're going to have a third down, you want it 4 yards or less. And again, it's nice to see Morlock. He's just moving a little bit better than he has the last couple of days. And we talked about it. He's been dealing with well, he had a shoulder. He's been dealing with an ankle. And when he was healthy in the first half of the year, man, he was a dangerous weapon in all phases. Coach Kleiman with the timeout.
Their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
We'll keep it here with 13:44 to go here in the second quarter.
But just to talk more about Chase, you know, he had those 4 receiving touchdowns. He was running wheel routes, and he was, doing all kinds of things, lead blocking as well, until he hurt that ankle.
This game brought to you in high definition by Speak Volumes. Remembering that one drink isn't always just one drink. Log on to speakvolumes.nd.gov for more information. And you had mentioned Tim Polisek said, boy, without him healthy, that really does hurt us. Early in the season, all the things he was able to do, catching the football, running the football. He said even though the tight ends did not have a lot of catches early, those catches came out of the tight ends room because that's what Chase Morlock was bringing to the team.
22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends.
3rd and 1. Back to power, and it's Morlock running it up inside. Good enough for a first down up to the 11-yard line.
Again, first point of contact beyond what was needed for the first down. So relatively easy sledding, I would say, inside. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. The handoff goes to Morlock. He's just trying to follow that guard through there.
James Barnes making another tackle. Frazier working off. A nice block from Zach Johnson. Cuts up inside up to the 6. Gain of 5. Easton Flaw coming in to make the tackle.
Well, you mentioned Johnson, but along that, the tandem with him and Haig has been really good since Johnson has gotten kind of his health back. It's about, I don't know, we haven't studied everybody. That's about as good as it gets in the conference, I would say, those 2 guys on the left side.
Stick will work out of the shotgun here on 2nd and 5.
I mean, Joe Haig was added to the Offensive Player of the Year watch list. That's how good he's been.
Quarterback run for Easton Stick, trying to get outside. Nice pursuit on the play by that safety, Jared Bashore. Just a freshman from Lamar, Missouri.
He's a kid that Randy Hedberg and I were talking about a little bit this week. When Hedberg was at SIU, they started talking to him and recruiting him. So, I mean, when Coach Hedberg and I started talking about personnel from Missouri State, he was one of the guys he mentioned that they really liked.
Bison again getting it done on third down, 3 of 5 today. Play action, wide open receiver, a stick, drops it off. Connor Wentz for the touchdown.
Plays like this become easy after you have so much success right up the middle. You have to honor the success the Bison had. Kodak Mutual Insurance replay, stick with the play fake. Wentz kind of slides out after first showing a blocking formation. Wide open for Connor. Well, there's a tight end getting a touchdown. We just said how they didn't have a lot of catches early in the year, but he's got a touchdown. Bonnet has a touchdown. Albers has a touchdown now.
Connor Wentz, as Peterson missed the extra point off the upright, no good. The first miss, an extra point this season for a Bison kicker. So the lead remains 20-0 with 11:47 to go as Stick finds Wentz for 6. Leads at 20-0 over Missouri State, and that is without 2 of his senior starters on defense, Jordan Champion and C.J. Smith, as you both see on the sidelines. They're right behind him.
With the exception of the PAT that just plunked the upright, that's about the only thing that's been a negative so far today. Bison get a touchdown on defense, another turnover on Ambrosius' interception. So both sides of the ball really playing well as they expected to today.
The kickoff dropped initially and then taken by Adam St. Peter, a backup tight end. He does fall on top of it right around the 26-yard line.
Well, we've talked about how Holloman especially has made an impact on kick return, so that's one way you do it. You don't kick it to him.
Bobcat game recap, and again the Bison on a short field thanks to the MJ Stump strip and the Greg Menard fumble recovery. They punch it in for 6, 24 yards at 3:13, capped off by the Connor Wentz touchdown reception. Inside handoff again, and this is Crowder gaining 3 up to the 30. MJ Stump in on another tackle.
I watched Robbie Grimsley. He was the first guy there on that play. You could tell how he came down. His man in a potential pass play was a tight end. Busted down to the tight end, saw it was a run, was able to be first man there at about 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. So when your free safety is getting first contact that deep, well, you know the read is right.
Lambert, quick drop, will throw on the slant. That time, Jalen Allison ready for it. The intended target, Willis Chambers. That will bring up another 3rd down for Missouri State. And they are 0 of 3 today. Crowd coming to life once again on 3rd and 6.
Little noise here to help out the defense that's played so well so far today.
Bison bringing pressure. Down he goes. Speed rush from the outside by Greg Menard. And Lambert slow getting up.
Now Jordan Turner's a redshirt freshman playing left tackle, and he just got schooled on that play. One thing the blitz does is it takes away any chance of helping double one of the down guys, and that was pretty easy pickings there by Menard on that sack.
7 sacks on the season now, a team high for Greg Menard. Again, the Bison have not had the production of someone like Kyle Emanuel, who had 20 last year, but they've still been able to get pressure off the ends.
If anything, that shows you how outstanding Emanuel was, because the team had 20 coming into today.
Solons makes the punt. It was touched right around the 40-yard line by Alex Jones. And the Bison again will have good field position, leading by 3 touchdowns with 10:07 to go in the 2nd quarter. Back at the Fargo Dome, taking a look at the New Seed fan cam. A little chilly outside this morning. Tailgate, not a little bit brisk. LT is what I like to call it.
That's fine though. But on the drive over, I talked to one of my friends who happens to work in T, South Dakota, that had 18 inches of snow yesterday. So don't have to shovel cold, Brian. That's one of my favorite lines. I'll take cold over snow any day.
10:07 to go. Brian Shawn, Lee Timmerman, Beth Hool with you from the Fargo Dome. In this Missouri Valley Conference finale, Easton Stick going deep for Wentz, who's open and makes the catch inside the 30-yard line. Taken down by Cole, but not until a big pickup of 33 yards down to the 27.
That's a nice play because it gives the defense multiple looks. There you see the influence of the eyes to the outside on the high side, the field side. Wentz, just like the touchdown, goes pretend like he's blocking, releases. Cole realizes, uh-oh, tight end's my guy, has to try to catch up to him.
So 2 catches already here in the game for Connor Wentz. He only had 1 in the entire season coming into this matchup. Outside handoff. How about the speed of the freshman? Touchdown, North Dakota State, Dimitri Williams.
Boy, he gets into the hole and then looks back to his right, and it's like, oh, no safety's coming. This is going to be easy. There, you saw him. His head just peeked to the right. I can beat the backer. I'm going to hit the seam. No safety there. Easy 6.
Dimitri Williams, the true freshman out of Rosemont, Minnesota. His first career touchdown at North Dakota State. Young man that was hampered by an ankle this season. Finally getting healthy and proven he can be an electrifying player when he gets the ball in his hands. 27-0, the score for NDSU with 9:32 to go here in the second quarter. We'll be back with more from the Fargo Dome after this. First career touchdown as he scoots on a 27-yard touchdown run. And the Bison on the Bobcat game recap scored in a hurry, just 35 seconds on that scoring drive.
You can see where Williams adjusts his route after the safety that was Belts, overran the play, cut inside of it, gone.
Boy, this kick stays in bounds. LeCompte so good at doing that. Picked up, and not a whole lot of room to maneuver. Trey Dempsey got over there as Hoover tried to cut it up, but had no angle to do so. And Missouri State backed up once again, trailing by 27.
Yeah, Hoover had a lot of field to work with. He just couldn't get it turned up, and Dempsey just kept stringing the play out, and eventually the sideline becomes your friend. Unfortunately for the Bears, as they come out here, this is kind of the way it's gone for them this year. You talk about the average score at halftime, if you round up, 29-6. Ouch.
We are keeping our eyes on some other scores from around the country. South Dakota State, Western Illinois, late in the second quarter, tied at 3. Again, the Jacks likely get a bye and a home playoff game if they win. If they lose, they are maybe playing on Thanksgiving weekend. As Jason Randall gets the carry, gain of about 4.
Randall's a redshirt freshman, another kid that kind of like hasn't had a lot of carries, but he's averaging the most yards per carry of the 3 tailbacks coming into this game.
Again, another freshman. Lambert to throw. Lambert in and out of the hands of his intended target, LaMarcus Stewart. And incomplete.
Just a man on the outside with Dakota Reed. A little bit of hand fighting there before the ball went through the air. I thought a nice job by the official to let the kids play it out and see what happens. Reed again getting the start today in place of Smith or champion.
Dakota Reed siblings, Houston, Denver, Colorado. His sisters, Montana and Dallas. They love cities and states in that family. Isaac bring pressure. Lambert hangs in there. This one incomplete. Hoover the intended target.
On 3rd and long, Coach Entz has been dialing up that pressure. Linebackers have been coming.
Flag came in late.
Offense number 56. That penalty is declined. Will be 4th down.
An offensive line having a tough time protecting their quarterback today.
Again, we talked about it. They have three freshmen of the 5 in the starting offensive line, so just extremely inexperienced. And when you have inexperienced offensive line, what do you not get? You do not get sustained drives, which is another reason why this young man is out to punt his 93rd time this year.
So Sullins will boot it away once again. And a fake. Bison had it measured. And it's a stop. Pierre G. Tucker makes the stop.
Well, that's his job. You go on the initial rush. If there's no chance to get it free to the leg of the kicker, then he does what he has to do, play linebacker. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. Tucker's comes in, no blocker in front of him. You put it into what do you have to lose department if you're the Bears. Go ahead and try it, but Bison have feasted on short fields. That's why when we looked at one of the breaks, you look up at the total offense, and it's not that great for the Bison because they've had such a short field. And when you're starting inside the 20, that's really short.
Yeah, Bison starting inside the Superior Inc. red zone on this possession. Stick out to Urzendowski. Tripped up on the play after a small gain. Nice job defensively that time by Robert Thomas. Another freshman defensive back for Missouri State. Gain of about 3.
Coach Hedberg talked, it's only second down here, but I want to bring up a point about third down and how the Bison really struggled last week on third down, but they took, in his 4 starts, Stick's starts, they looked at every third down play, and Coach Hedberg said what we found out was not as bad as we thought, so we believe he's playing well, making good third down decisions and giving him a chance to throw it.
Stick all day to throw across the middle, and it is caught just short of scoring another touchdown today as Connor Wentz down to the 1.
Well, Connor gets the first down, and boy, I thought like you, Brian, I thought he was going to get in, but then he gets popped pretty hard right there at the 1. Suddenly becomes the man in the receiving game, Connor Wentz. Obviously, because of the way you saw the read progression, or just watched the head of the quarterback, he was looking left, nothing there, look short, nothing there, third read, there's my tight end. We'll go back to Wentz.
So Easton Stick will take the snap here from the 1. Fade to the corner. It is. Did he catch that?
I think so.
Wow.
No.
Oh boy. Zach Fraw came up that close to breaking the NDSU all-time receiving touchdown record. Let's take a look on the Nodak Mutual Insurance replay.
Well, I thought Stick put it out there pretty well to give him a chance to make an attempt at it.
Oh boy,
that's a catch.
I think that's a catch. Let's take a look at it. He made a spectacular catch here a couple of weeks ago, and that one almost as good. And
he has a foot down already. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. I think we just saw the record setter.
Well, that was a spectacular catch again. That was pretty doggone good coverage on the play by Matt Rush.
Well, I think he caught it.
We'll take a look upstairs. Looking for career touchdown number 27.
Earlier this year, Zach went over the all-time yards receiving mark and the all-time number of catches mark too. If this is a touchdown, he breaks, or sets, I should say, another record. He has a tiptoe in already.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a touchdown.
This is probably the best look. Shows that he had control of the football when that
clearly controlled it all the way through the play.
Congratulations, Zach Fraw. You have broken Tim Strelow's record for receiving touchdowns in North Dakota State. And in Zach Fraw fashion, it's not an easy one.
Oh, another spectacular catch. Wow, that's cool.
Beth Wu on the sidelines has a PetroServe USA sideline report. Beth.
Hey guys, Zach Fraw, obviously a record-setting wide receiver here for NDSU. He had his most successful year in 2013 with 15 touchdown receptions. That was obviously when he was sneaking up on teams, as Warren Holloway was their point of emphasis. Everybody knows who Zach Fry is now, but he just completed his 4th touchdown reception of the year for 4 straight years of at least 4 touchdown receptions.
Thank you, Beth. And talking to Zach a little bit in fall camp, I said, you know, the decision to come back, he had the decision to come back, or was it going to be done? He had his degree finished. And I said, that's not an easy decision, LT, just based on what you have to go through in the offseason to get ready for another year.
And I think he surprised a lot of people by making that decision to come back, and he certainly did. And the thing I like about it is the real world's going to keep waiting for you. And as we look again, he's done this and made it look so easy for so long. Another outstanding catch, a record-setting catch. But you're right. You know, the guys he came in with, the guys he redshirted with that already graduated because of some injuries is the reason he has the opportunity to play for a 6th year. Congratulations.
And you got the feeling that even on 1st and goal, the Bison would almost never throw it there on 1st and goal. But
no,
I think Tim Paulusek wanted to get Vra that touchdown record in the first half. So NDSU extends the lead now to 34-0, still only halfway through the 2nd quarter. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff, and Peterson Farm Seed probably brings you that Bison kickoff as well as a product lineup that'll give you every reason to stand tall. LeCompte gonna pooch it again. Picking on that backup tight end. This time he fields it cleanly and is able to get pretty decent field position up to the 32 as Adam St. Peter.
Yeah, you go back though, that, you know, decent field position, yes, but does one of your big playmakers have a chance to pop one? No. So that's the trade-off. You'll give it to him there every time to not give up a potential long kickoff return for a touchdown.
So Lambert will come back out, trailing 34-0. Inside handoff, and Houston is back in there, and Ryan Houston drags the pile up to the 40-yard line after a gain of 8. Here's a look at your Bobcat game recap. 3 plays, 17 yards, and just 111. And again, the fake punt did not work well for Missouri State, setting up the Bison on yet another short field as Zach Fry makes the catch. And stay tuned until halftime to see the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers Stats Report. That's coming up at the half. Lambert taking off with it. Lambert will slide down after he gets a first down up to the 45. Pretty good job there by the junior, escaping some pressure and making some positive yards.
Well, the Bison gave him a different look that time. The NDSU State single high safety, Lambert slipping there a little bit. Before, NDSU was sliding that, staying too deep safety over the far side. That's why he was looking for the slant once again. But once the slant wasn't there, he got what he did. I thought that from a quarterback reading position on that particular play, he did a fine job.
Handed off this time, and Nate Tangway right there to take down Haston after a gain of a loss, I should say, of 2.
He just ate him up. Tangway is just having a fun day inside as well. The sophomore has a couple of tackles for loss today. Well, if 99 doesn't get him, 61 is right there. So Tangway and Schatz, those two have been the combo on the defensive tackle position, and they both have had really good years this year for the Bison.
Talking to Matt Entz about how you keep those guys fresh, and he said it is kind of a delicate balance of having physical practices and backing off on some reps. He said Nick DeLuca only took about 1/3 of the reps this week as he usually does. As Dave Steckel is going to call Missouri State's first time out of the half with 5:36 to go.
Another thing we were talking with Coach Entz about this week too, when you have a team like Missouri State who obviously has struggled, all the stats and everything that we've talked about are kind of playing themselves out today, but like in the film room, how do you keep your guys focused other than just going, wow, look at Missouri State getting steamrolled by someone? He goes, we just use cut-ups. We just show them the plays we want them to see, not the whole game.
Stay tuned for our American Family Insurance hit of the game. That is coming up later on. MJ Stump.
He's been owning
had a couple
it lately.
of them the last couple of weeks. Let's look at Jamar Kane, defensive ends coach. Jamar, of course, the former defensive coordinator at Wyoming, coming over after Craig Bowl left to go to Wyoming. Said he feels really good about where the defensive ends are and where they're going to be in the future. So there's some kids redshirting, some younger guys that are getting better, hoping to build some depth.
It's going to be a deep position.
Stanley Jones, again, not playing once again. He is out as he's still coming back from a bit of a knee injury. Heaston gets the carry. Boy, steps out of another tackle. Nice job by Ryan Heaston. Sneaking up for 5 yards as he slipped out of an MJ Stump tackle.
I think DeLuca was first guy there, so he actually scored it by a couple of players. There's a look at Stump. But yeah, 49 DeLuca was first guy there. So yeah, that's really nice. Almost 5 yards after first contact. Really nice pad level on that particular play.
The Bears 0-5 on third down. Could use one here. Lambert, double clutch, throws, and incomplete. Richard Darden, the tight end, was the intended target. Just that little bit of a hesitation. The ball didn't get quite there in time for Darden to make the catch.
Darden working one-on-one against the safety. I think it was Grimsley in this particular instance. Made a move off the inside. Incomplete.
So the Bison hold, and Sullins, we think, will punt on 4th and 5 here. Sullins will hang this one up. Perkins is going to run up. He's going to try to call for a fair catch. As he takes it on the bounce. And Perkins still on his feet. All the way to the 47-yard line.
I thought he motioned for fair catch. But I suppose once it hits the turf, though. Well, maybe not.
I thought the hand went up there for a moment,
but it didn't signal solid enough, I guess, of a fair catch. But yeah, he did the right thing.
Perkins, another one of those guys that comes in as a walk-on.
The previous play is under further review.
Has really done a nice job in the punt return game. Not explosive, but boy, sure-handed, has made some guys miss and has made some positive plays in special teams.
The main thing is to have confidence in the punt returner's ability to field the ball with confidence and to field it cleanly. And in that respect, he's been real good.
They may be looking to see if the hand did go up. It looked like it was just kind of a half-hearted effort.
My first reaction was I thought he signaled fair catch.
Certainly a big change. Saves about 20 yards of field position for Missouri State.
It's back at around the 20-21 yard line.
Beth Wu on the sidelines has a Missouri Valley update on this PetroServe USA sideline report. Beth.
Hey guys, Illinois State solidifying themselves at least a share of the Missouri Valley Conference with a 46-0 win over South Dakota today. Now it's up to, of course, the Bison to finish things off here to share that Missouri Valley Conference for a second year in a row. Down in Western Illinois, SDSU and Western Illinois tied 3-3 right now.
Which causes the play to be dead when he recovers it. It will be first down and 10 at the 18-yard line on the right hash. Please reset the game clock to 4:56.
So that will negate
4:56 on the game clock.
That will negate the return as the officials took a look at it, LT.
I think the coach's argument, and maybe Perkins himself, was that I wasn't signaling for a fair catch. I was trying to signal to the people in front of me to get out of the way. I thought it looked like it was a fair catch signal. This is the back end of that. His initial signal was before the ball. Here we'll see the ISO. So is that a point or fair catch? And then the hand slides up, and you can see the Bears back away. They think that was a fair catch signal. And the replay booth thought it was as well.
So the Bison offense will have their worst starting field position of the day back at the 18. This is Frazier bouncing to the outside, and King Frazier has a good gain on first down of 8 yards as flags come in late. This might be a late hit on the NDSU. I think Bonnet might have hit somebody late.
Yeah, it's against the Bison, it looks like.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, offense number 46. Half the distance to the goal will be second down.
Modak Mutual Insurance replay.
And Frazier does a nice job of gaining about 8 yards on the play. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry, but check 46 right in the middle of the play. He is on the field. You veered off to the right, hit another guy.
So that will cost the Bison some yardage. They'll be backed up to the 13. I think Coach Kleiman would like to get maybe one more touchdown and then cycle in quite a few reserves here in the second half. Stick will throw. Again, plenty of time. Open receiver, Urzendowski at the 26. RJ can be slippery all the way up to the 36-yard line. Good enough for a first down and a gain of 23.
Stick showing off a little bit of arm strength there because he's almost over by the far hash, and you're throwing all the way to the near sideline. Those are the types of plays that Carson Wentz has just made look so simple. Gets his feet set, snap it back to your ear, and fire it off to Urzendowski. Good pass.
Cole running all the way downfield to make another tackle for Missouri State.
Well, he hasn't led them in tackling in every game so far this year by accident.
Bruce Anderson trying to get the edge, and Bruce Anderson does get the edge. And a nice gain of about 15 yards, eventually pushed out of bounds once again by Christian Hoffman.
Well, Nate Moody got just enough for the outside guy. He takes just enough for the safety. You'll see Moody, number 80, come into your screen. There he is, just a little bit of a push, got his body in the way to allow Anderson to use his speed and get all the way to the edge.
So the Bison, in a couple of plays, already get into Missouri State territory here with 3.5 to go.
Boy, some big plays did Bruce Anderson have last week in that win. A lot of them in the special teams department, but man, he was so huge in the win over the Penguins last week.
Missouri State calling their second time out of the half as they try to get organized here defensively.
The sheer volume of plays that defense has been on the field this year, oh my goodness, they've been out there a ton.
I was looking at that specific stat. NDSU coming into today and had played about 600 snaps, 597. Missouri State 771.
It's amazing.
And a final, number 12, James Madison 38, Villanova 29. One more final, the Citadel 23.
And the Citadel got a big win today over SEC South Carolina, 23-22. And I think the Citadel now with that victory is for sure in the playoffs. Again, the bracket's released tomorrow, and we'll find out who's coming to Fargo here in a couple of weeks. And what seed the Bison get.
That's the Citadel's 8th win, I believe, of the year, and now you get a late season win over South Carolina.
And of course, the Gamecocks are in a little bit of shambles since Steve Spurrier resigned in the middle of the year.
Doesn't matter, but it looks really nice on the playoff resume.
Sure does. Morlock still on his feet. Chase Morlock lost the ball, and I think Missouri State got on top of this one. Yes, sir. Vashawn Landers comes up with the fumble recovery.
We'll see it here. Morlock gets it poked out. That's been somewhat of an issue this year, wouldn't you say? Not just with Chase, but NDSU fumbling, putting the ball on the turf quite often this year.
Well, that is the 17th fumble and the 10th lost fumble for NDSU offensively. I know it's driven Tim Polasek, the offensive coordinator, nuts because he's also the running backs coach. And he said, we're not sure if we're focusing on it too much. Sometimes you worry about you're bringing it up too much and you're getting in the guys' heads, but certainly ball security's been an issue. And it's been all the running backs.
And he's tried different things throughout the course of the year. If you cough one up, you go down the depth chart. That's been one of the things that Coach Polasek has done.
So Missouri State. As Brody Lambert throws this one up, and it was almost intercepted. Robbie Grimsley had it fall right into his hands, and he could not hang on to it.
Poor Lambert. He's just barely got up late. He was holding, I think, his left hand or something like here. He got smoked. The ball squirts up, and Grimsley will probably tell you he should have had it. This might be a good replay to see him get hit. Yeah, he was hit as he released. And, yeah.
Well, NDSU does lead the country with 45 pass breakups. The Mad End said we got to hang on to more of those things if we got our hands on the ball. And Grimsley certainly could have had one there. Easton darts through a hole, taken down after a gain of 4. DeLuca in on another tackle.
When you're hoping to be a running team and you have the incompletion on first down, and now you're second down, you run it. So now you're staring at third down and a long 6. Not much a play caller can do. When that first down doesn't happen, it kind of sets up the whole series for you. And the Bison have shown pressure on 3rd and long. They've come. I mean, Stump has been in on a bunch of blitzes. DeLuca's been blitzing quite a bit as well.
Breck Ruddock now in at quarterback for Missouri State, number 16.
Another timeout.
Missouri State will call for their final timeout.
Their final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
With 2:38 to go.
Yeah, I think that's directly goes back to that last hit that Lambert had. He got hit and he rolled up really slowly.
Ruddock has played. He's thrown for 384 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Just a redshirt freshman from Marion, Arkansas.
Yeah, they kind of like his upside a little bit, but that redshirt freshman thing has been kind of his issue so far this year. Yeah, when your offensive line is not all that solid, that's one difference that Easton Stick as a redshirt freshman has to his advantage, is how good NDSU's offensive line is. Well, you go back behind that offensive line with 3 freshmen on it as a freshman quarterback, has not been a good formula.
So here comes Ruddock, 6'4", 197. We'll try to get Missouri State their first 3rd down conversion of the game. And this one thrown into the turf, and boy, more heavy pressure put on as Brian Schatz got in there, MJ Stump got in there.
I think Schatz was the guy that got the hit on the quarterback, though. You'd have to put that into the category of quarterback hurry. Bison came in with 32 of those into this game, and they've had a bunch today.
So Missouri State now 0 of 7 on 3rd down here in the first half. Perkins back at his own 10. Solon boots it to about the 20. Takes a Missouri State hop to about the 22. That's where the Bison will have it with 2:26 to go here in the first half.
The Bison have won the last 4 games in this series against Missouri State.
But for whatever reason, it seems to never be easy when you go to Springfield. They've had some battles down there. They found a way to win a lot of them. But they've been tough games down there in Springfield.
In fact, it might have been the last time down there. That was a game the Bison probably should have lost and won by, what, 3 points? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Might have been a couple years
ago. Okay.
Bruce Anderson sidestepping around a couple of tacklers and eventually taken down after a gain of 2.
Another thing we should say, too, is that it impacted the Bison a little bit last week, but especially early this week, the flu was flying around that locker room in and out. And there were guys that lost a bunch of weight and were trying to get the weight back that they had because of the flu. The locker room was disinfected. Coaches' offices were disinfected. I mean, they called in the cavalry on Sunday night and Monday to try to help beat that bug.
Stick right on target. Boy, how about the slipperiness of Darius Shepard. He's come up with some big catches this year, and he's got a first down for the Bison up to the 40-yard line. You talked about some guys that had the flu. It sounded like Robbie Grimsley, Jeremy Kelly both had it really bad. Lucas Alberts did not play last Saturday because of it. He lost 20 pounds.
Yeah, Landon Leckler was a guy who lost 11 pounds and got some of it back. Shepard tiptoeing and getting smacked pretty hard on the end of that, but another first down. That was the pass play that last week kind of Stick had issues with on both sides of the field. But there he threw it right on target and on time.
Outside handoff. Following blockers is Lance Dunn, who gains about 6 yards up to the 46. See if the Bison decide to hurry it up here.
I don't think they're going to get another playoff real fast because there's a player down. That's Anthony Upchurch, another redshirt freshman, strong safety. And now the officials stop it so that he can get to the sideline and get looked at.
So that saves the Bison a few seconds here if they're going to try to score one more time here before the first half ends.
Now the clock starts.
Done again. Following a Joe Hegg block, and he's got a first down up to midfield.
Missouri State is, you know, they've changed a lot of things, and one of the things that Coach Steckles is bringing in is a 4-3. So the same type of 4-down lineman, 3 linebacker look that the Bison start with, and before Missouri State was 3-4. It's the defense he ran a lot for all those years at Missouri.
Clock still moving now, under a minute. Stick, plenty of time, fires across the middle into coverage, and this one is caught for another first down. Urzendowski makes another catch up to the 38-yard line. RJ has been the guy that's been targeted most, his 3rd catch of the day.
Without much pressure, though, it's pretty confident look in the pocket here from Stick. He hasn't had to move his feet or slide much either way.
Back to the air again. Stick underneath to Shepard, and Shepard takes it inside the 28 for another first down. Clock will stop with 37 seconds to go here in the first half.
Dylan Cole to make another tackle, but not again until NDSU picks up another first down.
And Stick will spike it with 33 seconds left.
It's a good clock management opportunity here without using your timeouts. I don't think NDSU is going to call a timeout here to try to score, but if it can happen, work yourself, work the clock, get the spike as we look at Carson Wentz. Coach Carson lately.
Easton Stick having a very good first half. We haven't talked about it much, but 11 of 16 for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been real comfortable back there. Missouri State has not been able to get to him.
Play action. Stick will take off with it this time. Easton Stick inside the 15, slides down to the 11-yard line, and the clock will stop once again to move the chains after a gain of 16.
Stick took a pretty good pop at the end of that when he was sliding, got a shoulder in on him, but he's pretty pumped up about the fact that the C's opened up for him. No linebackers in the area. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay, rushing 4. Makes a nice cut there to get past the leading tackler. And then again, he got hit pretty hard on the back end of that, but Bison have it down to the 12.
Hit pretty hard by Matt Rush, one of the safeties. Every year in the FCS playoffs, LT, we usually look at maybe 4 or 5 teams that everybody kind of looks at as the cream of the crop or really the teams to beat. But in the FCS this year, I don't know if there is one that really stands out. Certainly Jacksonville State, with their near loss there to Auburn, their only loss of the season. The Bison at times have looked dominant over their opponents.
But it hasn't been a consistent domination like, you know, the Bison are winning, and yes, they're playing well, but obviously it's not like 2 years ago or anything like that.
NDSU in the Superior Inc. red zone here once again. A Stick will roll and throw in the flat. And this one short. Looking for Andrew Bonnet, incomplete.
Well, he had Bonnet right there. He was wide open, and the pass went to the shoe tops. But you're right, Brian. I don't think there is one team you can say is definitely the team to beat.
And Bonnet had some room to maneuver. Now 3 receivers to the bottom side of your screen. Stick on the slant. This one is caught. A timeout called as Darius Shepard makes another catch, and that will bring up a 3rd and 4.
That pass looked like it nosedived a little bit on Stick as well. Shepard had to go
There's
down.
Final
and catch
timeout
it.
of the half.
17 seconds until halftime.
I think the Bison will take one crack. Well, it's 3rd down. I guess that's self-explanatory. Take a crack at it and get the field goal unit out there.
By the way, Youngstown, we had a heartbreaking loss to NDSU last week after controlling most of the football game until the 4th quarter. Ended up losing at Indiana State today. So Bo Pelini and company will finish the season at 5-6 and try to hit the recruiting trail here to find some guys to play in the Penguins program.
Boy, they have a lot of talent right now, but just didn't quite come together for them.
Stick will throw in the corner. Anderson, touchdown.
Kind of a fun formation. It was unbalanced with 2 tight ends on the right side. Both those tight ends run into the end zone, clearing the way for the trail guy to have nobody on him. And that trail guy is number 42. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. That's a great example of it. Albers cuts in. Bonnet goes up. Anderson slides behind him. Touchdown.
So the Bison extend the lead to 40 here in the first half. Peterson, good this time on the extra point. The Bison lead at 41-0 here with 13 seconds to go. And NDSU well on their way to their 9th win of the season. And one of the top seeds in the FCS playoff brackets coming out tomorrow. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay.
The high replay from way up top on the north end of the dome here. Just Anderson is able to sneak in behind those guys. And 41 push-ups. Thank goodness I don't have to try to do 41 push-ups.
We've had some games here where they've had to do a lot of push-ups in the past. Today is one of those games.
Remember before in the 2nd quarter where we talked about the total yardage and how it was relatively close because the Bison's scoring plays have been, you know, we were on such short fields, but you look up at there now, wow, there's a huge discrepancy. You can't say they haven't been 50-50 pass and run, but 317 to 69.
Well, Missouri State has been 50-50 as well, but they're not doing very well on either side of that coin. Ben LeCompte on for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff, kicking off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed.
Going to the pop-up again.
St. Peter's been a busy guy, and this one will actually bounce at about the 18, and Holloman will still get a chance. Holloman by Bruce Anderson, who just scored the touchdown a moment ago at the 28.
Nice hit.
Let's take a look at our Bobcats game recap.
Good time management too, I think, on this touchdown drive.
Downfield in a hurry, just 2 minutes and 13 seconds, 77 yards. Anderson makes the catch for the touchdown. It's his first receiving touchdown here at North Dakota State. He also has one rushing touchdown. Lambert will hand it off to Houston for the final play of the first half. He will gain 5 yards, and that will do it. 41-0 is your score. At the end of 2 quarters, Beth Houle will catch up with head coach Chris Kleiman to get his thoughts. I would suspect Chris would at least be satisfied.
He
with
certainly
that first
should
half.
be. Most coaches are, they're not always happy about everything, but he'll have to nitpick to find something he doesn't like here.
Beth has Coach Kleiman.
All right, Coach, did you accomplish everything you guys set out to in this first half?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. I was really happy with the defense creating the turnovers, and then the offense capitalized on it, and then so happy for Zach Brod to be able to get the school record.
And now you're heading into a second half here. What's the message? What's the important part to remember in the second half here?
Well, we've got a lot of guys that we're going to try to play, but we still have 30 minutes of football, and you never know. So we've got to go back and make a couple of adjustments, come out and play hard.
Thanks, Coach. Guys?
Thank you, Beth. And you may never know, but I have a feeling most of us know how this one's going to finish up today. Stay with us. Chris Berg, Alex Egan standing by for the Proceed halftime report. And North Dakota State controlling things on both sides of the football. Lead at 41-0 on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Back in a moment. Stick with us.
We will rock you, and one of the most famous rock songs of all time, the blockbuster Bohemian Rhapsody. Here's a crazy little thing called love. involved is when I get certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings, thanks to the Lucky Row giveaway. Ladies and gentlemen, the following play has been selected as the Great Clips play of the half. Easton stick to Zach Raw for a Bison touchdown. An NDSU record 27 touchdown receptions for Zach Raw. That's the Great Clips play of the half. Watching to see if the play you select is the play of the half. Brought to you by Great Clips for Hair. Stop by any of the 5 convenient locations for Great Clips in Fargo. Bison fans, it's time for the Bobcat Company's total yards donation. At this point in the game, the Bison have gained 317 total yards. Bobcat is recognizing these Bison gains and making a positive impact on our community by donating $1 per yard to the United Way of Cats play. The total yards gained so far this year, 4,680. Go Bison!
Mic test, 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 mic test, mic test, mic test, test, test. Go on this side of you so I don't wrap up your camera. You guys ready to go? right, Coach, coming out, watching your guys walk out here, they've got laser focus still. What was that message at halftime?
Well, we're going to find out who wants to continue on with this program.
Back at the Fargo Dome, 41-0 your score for North Dakota State. Beth Hool had a chance to catch up with Missouri State head coach Dave Steckel.
All right, Coach, coming out, watching your guys walk out here, they've got laser focus still. What was that message at halftime?
Well, we're going to find out who wants to continue on with this program.
You have guys here. We're celebrating senior day for NDSU, but you have a lot of guys. This might be their last time ever on a football field. Do you even need to motivate at that point?
You hope not, but we tried to.
What did you say? What did you tell them? How do you build up a team down 41-0 at half?
Well, we're going to see how we finish. We talked about finishing all week. We're going to see how we come out and finish and see if it'll catapult us into next season.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Coach. Best of luck, guys.
Thanks so much, and it has been a long season, certainly, for Coach Steckel, and we're glad, first of all, he could just be here for the game.
Yeah, it was great that he was here, because midweek they had no idea if he was going to get the doctor's okay to make the trip. He's got one of those gas bubbles in your eye, which, of course, you can't fly. We talked about that earlier, so, yeah, he's had to make the trip, and one of the graduate assistants had to hang back and wait with Coach Steckel to see if they got the okay.
Last hurrah here in the regular season for the seniors. And as we talked about earlier, LT, not the largest group of seniors, maybe not the biggest impact guys when you look at the last 5 years, but still an important presence to this group.
Always, senior leadership. Find me a good team that doesn't have senior leadership, and you found the anomaly, whether you're talking at a high school level or a college level. I mean, it is the difference in many opportunities. And that's how you keep the culture going, or in this case with NDSU, the culture of winning. I thought it was really important too, like on senior day here, how Coach Polasek talked about how the other players know that they have a responsibility to make sure these seniors go out well.
Marcelo Bonani finally gets a chance to get on the field, the kicker here for Missouri State. And there is a big lane up the middle for Bruce Anderson, and finally grabbed by the ankle and taken down about the 31-yard line. But a lot of room on that return, and a nice job on special teams by Christian Hoffman to make sure it didn't go any much further than it did.
Well, it looks like the #1 unit's going to get at least one series here in the second half, and that may be it.
So Easton Stick will bring out the offense here once again with a nice halftime lead, and a big lead at that.
Haig, Johnson, Kunert, Kelly, Leckler, front five.
And off. Keeping his feet in is King Frazier, and Frazier's loose inside Missouri State territory, and King Frazier will stick on all the way down to the 30-yard line. Finally tackled on the play by Curran Blaney. Gain of 40, excuse me.
Nodak Mutual Insurance replay, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, how King Frazier has kind of, I guess, turned it up a notch in terms of finishing runs. You saw him with that stiff arm to get another couple of yards here. Does a nice job running out of room, getting his shoulders squared, then the momentum, pick it back up. Another good stiff arm to gain about another 10 yards at the end. And I mean, truth be told, Frazier wasn't doing that the first half of the year. Second half of the year, he's been outstanding.
Play action here for
Wow,
Easton Stick.
got him.
Wide open receiver, and it is caught. Touchdown! That is Ilias.
Boy, Ilias playing because Albers was so sick last week, had just some really important catches in the tail end, and then especially that last one in the fourth quarter in the win over Youngstown last week, and there was no safe to be found. Ilias is just able to slide right up the middle, and that is about as easy it's going to get from Stick to his tight end.
And I thought initially it was Ilias, but I was looking for the hair flying out the back.
Looking for 88, yep.
Extra point booted through, and 14:08 to go, just 52 seconds. The Bison on the board again, and they lead it big here in the Fargo Dome.
That may be the last series for that starting offense, I would say.
Don't think there's really a reason to bring him back out at this point.
I was looking a little bit extra, too, to see if that was 88 or 86, just because of the senior type of deal on senior day, thinking maybe Albers. But no, it wasn't Luke. It was the man from just down the road here, Jeff Ilias.
And you talked about it, too, LT, the importance of a guy like Ilias last week. He had 2 huge catches against Youngstown, both on 3rd down.
And neither of them, if I remember right, were easy catches either.
No, back shoulder kind of coverage.
Well, we just heard Coach Steckel, you know, talking with Beth down there about asking his guys to finish and how you finish. Well, they didn't start the second half very well, so can't be too proud of the team in white on that possession.
30-yard touchdown pass for Jeff Ilias as we get set for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Peterson Farm Seed proudly brings you the Bison kickoff as well as a product lineup that'll give you every reason to stand tall. Here comes, gonna pooch it again. St. Peter's gonna get another opportunity at the 28. He is wrapped up by Dan Marlette at about the 32.
Much the same way with the NDSU offense. We'll see how many series that the entire #1 unit defensively gets. Of course, that's #1 minus Smith and Champion, who did not start this game. They were being held out. Well, he's one of the best defensive players in the country right there. You saw it, DeLuca.
Lambert completes this pass.
Grimsley gambled a bit.
Yeah, he was kind of going after it. And another catch made by Malik Earl, who's been one of the few bright spots offensively for Missouri State today.
Grimsley had some wide eyes. It's really tough to try to jump a route from a safety position, but he was coming. He saw the read, and he just zipped past him there, number 35. But you're right about Earl. We talked about him getting carried off the field a couple of weeks ago against Youngstown, so good to see him back and being really, what would you say, the lone bright spot on offense so far for the Bears?
And Lambert back in the game, and he was shelved for a moment there in the first half after taking a big hit as Ryan Heaston gains a first down for Missouri State up to the 45-yard line as Robbie Grimsley makes the tackle.
First down for the Bears at the 45-yard line.
Handoff again inside. Not much room this time for Heaston. Maybe a yard.
Another thing that could be just a little bit of a benefit too, given the way the game has gone today, is that NDSU is not in a position to have to try to show anything on tape to a potential playoff opponent. Offense or defense, it's going to stay real basic. Bison will be in the 4-3, maybe a nickel every once in a while, but not even a nickel situation here. Tucker's out on the guy in the slot.
Lambert fires a little bit wide, again looking for Earl. Coverage on the play there by Dakota Reed.
Reed may have gotten his body there just a sliver early, but what Dakota did was he pulled his hands back though. He made sure he showed the official there's no malice here. If I ended up being a little early, I'm not going to squeeze through the guy or bury the guy into the turf.
Excited about the future of Reed, some of the Bison coaches, just a redshirt freshman out of Chicago. Lambert throws high and off the hands of Earl and incomplete. So the Bison hold, and Missouri State still does not have a third down conversion, and that will bring up another punting situation for Chris Sullins.
I was watching Greg Menard on that play. He was extra wide, kind of like we used to see last year, you know, when Emmanuel would get extra wide, get really down in that three-point stance, and you know he's just going to explode off and try to speed rush to the outside. He almost got there, but boy, he was really on pass rush mode.
Sullins, a nice high punt. Perkins calls for the fair catch at the 10, and that's where North Dakota State will have it when we come back. The Bison in control of 48-0 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Bison offense back on the field with a new quarterback, Cole Davis.
Yeah, Zemer is the new center. Left tackle, or excuse me, left guard is in there as well, Volson.
There's Chase Morlock getting his first carry of the second half, gain 7 up to the 19. James Barnes makes another tackle.
We see Luke Bacon, 71, come into the game, and also Colin Connor, number 64, redshirt freshman, and up front.
Andrew Bonnet coming out.
Luke Elbers as well, getting their senior send-off probably.
Davis has played sparingly. He's only thrown 1 pass. Hand off again. Anderson cutting inside, swarmed under at the 25-yard line, but he has enough for a first down.
Good opportunity here to get a guy like Plankers. He's playing right guard now in place of Kelly. He was able to pull around in there, get him some reps at a position that he needs to know and needs to play. That's number 70 right there, Plankers. He's backing up multiple positions on the offensive line, now getting some reps at guard.
Zach Zemer also in at center. Tanner Volson in at left guard. Another nice hole. Boy, good footwork by, I believe that was Lance Dunn on the carry. He has another first down up to the 36. Deshaun Landers coming in to make another tackle.
Oh yeah, he was hit initially, was able to make a spin move and get the momentum again. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. Bang, pretty good hit. Spins off it, first down. Again, the Bison really like the upside of Dunn along with Anderson. Those two young guys have pretty good future, I think, at that tailback position.
And another Anderson getting the carry here. That is Darius, the senior from Hawaii, gaining about 4 yards up to the 40.
Yeah, Darius took such an interesting path here to get to the Bison. He came to play football in the state, but didn't start here at North Dakota State.
This game brought to you in high definition by Parents Lead. Have conversations with your children that matter. Log on to parentslead.org for more information.
Sorry, Brian, to finish that thought, Darius started at Valley City State before transferring over here to Fargo.
Boy, a lot of room on the outside. Nice cut block, and how about Lance Dunn? Stays in bounds. Dunn, touchdown.
True freshman helping out the redshirt freshman. The block, Bruce Anderson. Lance Dunn, the redshirt freshman, the long touchdown run. There's the lead blocker, 42. And there's the cut. Yeah, we just saw, I guess, the back end of it. He's beating guys with angles on him, too. A couple of guys down the sideline with angles. That's nice speed when you can do that. When you can beat the angle to the end zone, pretty good burst.
Third touchdown of the season for Lance Dunn, the redshirt freshman from Waterloo. Peterson again, good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 55. 55-0 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Back at the Fargo Dome, 55-0 your score in favor of North Dakota State as we take a look at the Bobcats game recap. 5 plays, 89 yards, capped off by that 60-yard dash by Lance Dunn.
Well, I know, Brian, you mentioned the amount of yardage that Missouri State gave up last week. Look at where the Bison are this early in the second half, up at 474 total yards.
Another Peterson farm seat kickoff as LeCompte will boot it deep this time to Holloman. It's about 7 yards deep, and he will take a knee, and Missouri State will start at the 25. Beth Houle on the sidelines for us today has a PetroServe USA sideline report. Beth.
Hey, Levi Jordheim having ice and on crutches in the first half on his right knee. He's now out here in street clothes, and they've applied a full leg knee brace to it. He says it's only expected to be maybe a bruise, maybe a tear to his meniscus, but it's still early to tell on that one. He is on the sidelines, though, and resting up.
All right, thank you, Beth. And Jordheim again, the redshirt freshman walk-on from Dickinson, has been pretty good on special teams and in spot duty on third down. He's done some nice things as well.
He's been outstanding on special teams. And yeah, when the rotation was getting so thin on the defensive end, he went to play that defensive end on some of those third and long situations.
Seeing a lot of substitutions now defensively for NDSU as well.
Yeah, Winbush comes in at safety. Smith is in there at safety.
Matt Plankin at linebacker. Lambert again will hand it off to Houston, who shows a nice burst in the holes, slowed down by Aaron Steidel.
Stop on the play by 28,
Andrew Smith finishes him off. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Brings up 3rd and 2 for the Bears.
Now Grimsley comes back in and goes and covers the man in the slots. Looks like it's to be man up on the high side.
Houston gets the carry, runs away from one would-be tackler, and has enough for a first down up to the 38. Wrestled out of bounds by Pierre G. Tucker.
Pierre G. Tucker on the stop for the Bucks. 1st and 10 for the Bears.
Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. 47, you see him in the middle of the screen. Makes a nice scrape, and then came really close maybe to getting an extra 15 at the end of that one.
The first 3rd down conversion of the day for Missouri State. Again inside. MJ Stumpf got there. Ryan Schatz, or excuse me, Aaron Steidel got there as well after a gain of 1.
Bryce Mesner out there getting some reps as well. One of the North Dakota guys from our trivia question in the first half.
That's right.
From Mackville.
Lambert airing it out, looking for Malik Earl. Off his hands, incomplete. Dakota Reed in on the coverage once again.
I think that's the first shot that Missouri State's taken so far today, deep downfield. You have safety help. Reed with pretty good position. Smith coming over to help.
Third and 9. Lambert across the middle to Earl. And he should have enough for a first down up to the 49-yard line. Dakota Reed on the tackle.
Yeah, he needed the 48, so the catch was able to get that first.
Each year, over what percentage of North Dakota soybeans are exported to Asian Pacific markets for use as animal feed? That's your North Dakota Soybean Council trivia question here in the second half. Houston working off a block, and Houston's got room to run. Finally taken down by Dakota Reed after a 9-yard gain.
One of Missouri State's better executed plays so far today as Earl goes off as he's trying to make a block, but they get 2 guys out front and able to gain the edge this time.
Houston, one of those seniors playing in.
Oh, that's why Earl went off. He was trying to block, and he had Reed, who made the tackle, kind of fly into him from behind.
Houston into a scrum, maybe a yard.
Got the first, though.
'56, Caleb Butler, and 63, Aaron Steidel on the stop. First down for the Bears at the 40-yard line.
So far, NDSU doing a lot of rotating in the defensive backfield on this series.
Houston again, that time dragged down from behind. Caleb Butler got in there.
Stopped by 56, Caleb Butler.
All right.
Take a look at our North Dakota Soybean Council trivia question and answer. Each year, over what percentage of North Dakota soybeans are exported to Asian Pacific markets for use as animal feed?
63.
Okay. 70. Hey, that's not bad, LT.
And that was based on a 100% guess.
Your North Dakota Soybean Council trivia question for here in the second half. Lambert completes that one. That was a dangerous pass as Grimsley was sniffing for that one again. But the catch made by Willis Chambers.
Well, Robbie took a couple of pre-snap movement toward the line. In fact, I was watching him thinking he might blitz off the edge. There you see the couple of feints. He tries to jump back in there. Couldn't quite get to the pass. But he was trying to help set the quarterback up, I think.
Jalen Allison was the one that made the tackle after a 3-yard gain, and that will bring up 3rd and 9 once again. Houston gets the carry. Houston again shows a nice burst, getting close to a first down, down to the 31-yard line. Reed it on another tackle.
Be 4th and short. No reason not to go for it here for the Bears, but that's not the first time that play has been successful. Kodak Mutual Insurance replay once again. Butler trying to run it down from behind. He did not allow the first down to take place, but it is 4th and short.
4th and 1 from the 31. Houston taken down right at the 30. I think he's got enough for a first.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Caleb Butler got in there again.
No reason to think about marking this one. You see the official in the white hat cranking the clock again, resetting it. Kodak Mutual Insurance replay. Butler sneaks back in there, but he couldn't get, a real shoulder in front of the running back, and it's hard to try to keep the kid from gaining a yard when that's all he needs in that situation.
We did see Stanley Jones, so Stanley Jones is playing here in the second half. We were told he may be shelved until the playoffs, but here he is. Boy, nice hole that time. Houston lost the ball, picked up by Jalen Allison. And Allison slowed down by the quarterback and brings it all the way back to the 41-yard line.
Really nice job of getting ball separation on the initial hit. Read option. Bang. Was that Grimsley that came in from the edge?
Matt Plank.
Plank, okay. Then Allison's trying to beat the quarterback. Yeah, Plank and Grimsley, they both were there, 44 and 35 to get the ball out of there. So the Bison defense has created turnovers today. One of them ended up in a touchdown.
So Davis will bring the Bison offense back out.
Turnovers for the defense, that's the biggest stat and the fastest way to make a defense smile when you can cause a turnover.
Darius Anderson room to the outside. He's in Missouri State territory and finally taken down at about the 45-yard line by Easton Flaw.
I think Kayvon Hawkins was making a nice downfield block. Number 18 in on this particular play. There he is. Anderson picks up the first down. Bison have had success getting to the edge and getting to the edge a lot on the short side too, the boundary side today. That's where Dunn's last long touchdown came from, on this near side. Oops.
Well, 2 different players jumped, including Jack Plankers and Luke Bacon. That'll take the Bison back 5.
Saw Daryl Colburn, number 91, sophomore from Little Rock.
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Not a lot of penalties called. Been a pretty clean game today.
You start seeing where a lot of the players, or some of the local players from Missouri State, where they're from, and then you kind of start to realize how south Springfield is. You think of Missouri, you think of Kansas City, St. Louis, you don't think of those as down south. But once you get to Springfield and down in that corner, down by Joplin, you're down there.
There's Anderson again, bouncing it outside, and Bruce Anderson gains about 5 back to the 46.
Anderson, the ball carrier. Tacklers led by 45, Christian Hoffman.
Ticking down towards a minute and a half to go here in the third quarter.
How come they're showing all the snowman and snowflakes and all of that on the little shield spot there? I
We're
guess
not ready to go there yet.
Hey, we've done a good job of putting it off, haven't we?
We really have had a beautiful fall throughout North Dakota. Morlock plows ahead for a gain of 3.
Especially for someone, you know, and a lot of our crew, like myself, who have to make that run back and forth from Bismarck, you know, each week. Last year, boy, we dealt with roads. So far this year, really nice.
Daniel Polanski also in the game now for North Dakota State. One of those wide receivers, sophomore from Grigla High School in northern Minnesota. Third and 7, North Dakota State, 5 of 7 on third down today. Davis is going to throw it. Davis under pressure, and down goes Cole Davis, and he did lose the football. And Missouri State comes up with it.
Now, Davis tried to slide off to his left to get past the pressure, and that's when the ball came out. He was knocked out of Davis's hand.
That's Colby Isbell. We talked about him in the open a little bit. A guy that Tim Polasek, the offensive coordinator, believes is an all-conference type of player the next couple of years.
Yeah, they think that he's had a solid year, especially on a passing situation. That's where Isbell's been so good this year, rushing the passer.
Leads the team with 5.5 sacks now in the season. Sophomore from Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah, another really young kid being a sophomore.
Not much room this time for Houston. Gains about 1.5 yards.
Should take care of the third.
Jalon Wimbush coming in to make the tackle. See if Missouri State tries to hustle it up and get another play off here before the end of the third quarter. And they will not get it off quite in time. And that will mark the end of the third quarter. And it's the fourth quarter, so hold up your 4 because it's time for the 4 for 4 from PetroServe USA. Grab a pizza, 2 cookies, and a drink for $4 every day at all 24 PetroServe USA locations. We'll be back with the fourth quarter coming up after this. You're watching KBLY and NBC North Dakota Sports. They come in all shapes and sizes here at NDSU. New Seed Fan Cam. A lot of horns, a lot of gold, a lot of green, and a lot of points for North Dakota State. 55-0 your score as we start the fourth quarter. This pass complete as Lambert finds an open receiver. Willis Chambers makes the catch. And he's close to a first down, about 1 yard short as Andrew Smith makes the tackle.
Of course, the fans here and everyone watching and home knowing that the playoff game will be here as well. Find out all of that stuff tomorrow.
Dan Marlette checking in at linebacker. Chris Board also in there at linebacker. He switched positions here in the middle of the year, was playing safety, and Chris Kleiman thought his skill set was better suited more towards the linebacker position. Ball ran up in there pretty hard by Jason Randall. He has a first down up to the 43. Beth Hool on the sidelines has a PetroServe USA sideline report. Beth?
It's 55-0, guys, but at the same time, this Bison football staff is still expecting their team to be progressing with every single snap and every play that they run out here. Coach Riley getting after his guys for getting a penalty called against them. He says, you can't have that sort of thing. We need to be better.
Thank you, Beth. And yeah, coaches are still going to coach. You want to be playing well here at the end of the year, no question. Houston taken down by Stanley Jones after a loss of 3.
And one of the Missouri State players injured on that particular play. There's Jones, 94. He had some work done on his knee just a couple of weeks ago. Good to see Stanley back in there. But Beth's right when you talk about the coaches. I mean, it's another way you continue what you've, I guess, established within the starting crew or whatever. You coach every player on every play because it's important.
This game brought to you in high definition by Speak Volumes. Reminding you that one drink isn't always just one drink. Log on to speakvolumes.nd.gov for more information.
That's Aaron Clardy, who's being helped, starting right guard, and one of the 3 freshmen in the starting offensive unit on the line for the Bears.
Well, when North Dakota State lost in this building to South Dakota, there was concern. How catastrophic is this? Can the Bison win out without their starting quarterback, Carson Wentz? Can they get home field throughout the playoffs? And it appears, despite some of the issues coming back from that game, they're going to be able to do that.
And remember, too, those last 4 games before today, 3 of them are on the road, too, when you're talking about wins.
Boy, another nice stick there by Chris Board. No gain, as the reception was made by Jason Randall.
I mean, those three road wins of those 4 games coming into here with a redshirt freshman quarterback. I mean, look at how fast we've taken what Easton Stick has been able to do, running this offense. I mean, we've taken it for granted almost. We expect him to play like a veteran. He's only played, 5 games.
Now Stick's day is over. 15 of 20, 189 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not bad. Again, it's Randall on 3rd and 12, picking up about 4 yards up to the 41. Also see Eric Bachmeyer in there from just down the road in Kindred, another redshirt freshman.
Bo Lekas, I think, was the first guy there who helped stand up and stop that pile. I think that's the way we're going with his name now, right?
It is Lekas, what I've been told, yeah. Perkins will come on to return as Sullins is approaching the 100 punt mark this season. Out of Knuckler. Perkins runs away from it. Nice job on special teams that time by Missouri State, down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. That's where the Bison will have it. When we come back, 11:53 to go from here in Fargo. Bison in control. On 3-yard line as we start their drive with 11:53 to go here in the 4th quarter. We just got a scoring update. Western Illinois leads South Dakota State 17-10 in Macomb. So the Jacks in a little bit of trouble, and they need that victory.
Yeah, that's potential.
To seal up home field to bye.
And potential bad news for the Bison.
Now that could mean, well, and I'm just going to say it, if North Dakota wins tonight at Cal Poly, it could be a very well North Dakota, South Dakota State matchup.
Winner coming here.
Winner coming to Fargo. So we'll see if the Jacks can rally in the second half to come back and win that game.
Dan Sargent, number 40, in on that last play. Nate Jensen, 85, in at tight end, a redshirt freshman from Brock Jensen's hometown.
That's right, Wapaka. Done again, boy, good burst. Anderson.
Yeah, Lance just came off right before that snap.
You can really see when he sees the hole and puts his foot in the ground. Man, does he scoot through there in a hurry, doesn't he?
Well, he had a nice little seam here. Boom, there's that explosion. Then he covers the ball at where he thinks is contact from the linebackers. Runs through it. See that? Here, both hands over it. Nice job. Deal with the safety. Comes up, makes the tackle. You pick up the first down. You're out of the shadow of your own end zone. And again, that's the reason that he is not a redshirt freshman. He is a true freshman. Made plays on special teams today.
Well, how about that? A little fullback dive. Got to appreciate that. And Carson Wentz was in on that
play. Okay, that was nice of Coach Kleiman to do.
Put him in for his senior day.
And Coach Kleiman is making sure the crowd acknowledges Carson. Ah, that was pretty neat.
Wow, nice gesture.
Again, the Bison are going to have to run deep into the playoffs. Oh, he ran.
He was in a tailback behind Morlock.
Okay, I was wondering if he
did. He didn't even move.
No, but he got in. Tailback. You know, the Bison will have to run deep. Really pretty deep in the playoffs to get him back out onto the field. And his football days are long from being over after his season ends here. He's got the letters NFL in his future, I think.
I'd have to say so. Darius Anderson has room to the outside. And how about the little guy from Hawaii inside Missouri State territory? And he takes a tumble into the bench on the far sideline.
Cole ran him down. Nice little shove over as he crossed midfield out at about the 40-yard line. Little burst of speed on the edge. Nodak Mutual Insurance replay. Christian Triplett, redshirt freshman from Delano High School, made a nice little pull on the block out there. I don't know if it was a pull. He was on the block on the edge.
By the way, Chris Kleiman did take a timeout for that.
Oh, to make sure that Wentz could be acknowledged.
Wentz can be acknowledged. Yep. Now under 10 to go. Boy, more great movement. And that's done as a flag comes in after a gain of 8. But we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, Tanner Volson, one of the guys out there and leading that play. Went to Drake Animus High School, redshirt freshman, wears number 74. He's got a good future too in this Bison offense.
Yeah, Connor Ryla saying he doesn't even realize how strong he is yet.
Illegal block below the waist, offense number 15. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Polanski.
Yeah, if he's out on the edge, you can't go down to the legs. You got to stay engaged above the waist.
So the Bison will be backed up for a 1st and 20 from the 49-yard line of Missouri State. There's a look at it, partially.
Again, Cole, this guy, he's in on a ton of tackles again today.
It's Dimitri Williams again on the fly sweep. Cuts it back up inside, working off a block from Polanski. Gains about 10 yards.
Well, we've seen it a couple of times today as well, but I think if you look into the blocking aspect of his game, I know we've seen Anderson run the ball. I'm talking about Bruce, but he has thrown some good blocks today. He had a couple of good blocks the last 2 weeks as well. That's probably where he's improved the most, because you have to figure a guy of his ability running the ball down in Florida wasn't asked to block a lot in high school, so it's kind of a thing he's had to learn, and he's been pretty good the last, I'm going to say, 3 weeks.
Play clock down to 4. They just get it off in time, and Anderson swarmed under after a gain of about 3. And we'll bring up 3rd and 8. Christian Hoffman in on the bottom of that tackle. He's been on a bunch of tackles too today.
Yeah, he's their second leading, I believe, right? Second leading tackler coming into this game.
One of 3 seniors that start for Missouri State, playing their last game today.
Of course, Davis and the offense, as you mentioned, Brian, snapped that at 1, so Excellent job of clock management here in the second half, trying to shorten this game as much as possible. We'll be inside of 5 before the snap again.
Anderson cuts it back up inside, and then he is hammered by Cecil Bratton after a gain of 3, and that will bring up 4th down and 5, and I would suspect I thought maybe Chris Kleiman would decide to punt here, but looks like he might go for it.
Going to mention another name on the offensive line getting out there from Maple Grove, a sophomore, Eric Olson, number 72, has been in a couple of plays. So the Bison coaching staff, as they had hoped, able to work a bunch of kids in today.
And it appears, at least at this point, escape without any major injury over the next couple of weeks. Bison will run it again.
He's got the first.
Oh boy, he's got a lot more. Lance Dunn inside the 20, down to the 19. He's got a first down and a gain of 14.
Even with Beth's sideline report about talking about Levi Jordheim, we hope that's not as bad as that looks, as he's on the crutches now. But Dunn keeping that motor going and heading forward, first down, and then about another almost 10 yards after that. He steps through that one tackle, or potential tackle in the back of the, or behind the line of scrimmage, and then you see the finish in the Nodak Mutual Insurance replay.
Jared Bashore, as you take a look at Dunn's numbers, 8 carries, 125 yards and a touchdown. North Dakota State back in the Superior Inc. red zone once again. And Jedry Sear gets his first career carry. How about Jedry?
Look at him go.
Boy, he is chugging along, and he's got about 8 yards down to the 10.
He's trucking down to the 10-yard line.
And he knows how to truck. Caught his first touchdown pass earlier this season against Northern Iowa.
There's a good chance that Jedry will be behind the 18-wheeler tomorrow. I know he takes a lot of loads on Sundays. They're going to have a week off. Maybe Dad will put him out there for a couple of runs this week.
Really a neat kid. I mean,
that was a cool story that Marty Smith did that
really
when they were here.
Actually sat behind Jedry's parents on the way to St. Louis, and Jedry's going to get it again. Not quite as much success. Just comes up about a yard short of the first down.
A little short of the first down.
Sat behind Jedry's parents on the way to St. Louis for the Southern Illinois game. And Jedry coming out.
Gets his senior salute.
Darius Anderson coming out. The clock continues to run as the Bison try to salt this thing away. Bruce Anderson has a first down to the 7.
Well, in the speculation world of the seedings for the playoffs, I know a lot of people who know a lot more about it than I think that the Bison are going to get a 2 seed, which would mean home playoff games as long as you stay active in the playoffs before you can get the chance to maybe reach that big prize again down in Frisco.
And we've seen how difficult it is to come here in the playoffs and win, especially if you're a team that has not been here before.
The non-Valley teams struggle more in here.
Anderson back in the game, taken down
by Cole. Another hit by him. Another nice job by the linebacker. 31's been all over the place. You looking up how many tackles you've got him credited for?
That's number 14.
Yeah. So
right on his average.
He will once again lead his team in tackles every game this year.
We're talking about a guy that is second in the country in tackles. I mean, that's unbelievable. Anderson stretch play, working off a Sargent block, steps through a tackler, and then taken down from behind by Hoffman after a gain of 1, maybe 2 yards.
Was hoping that seam could open just a little bit more for him, but it didn't work. Anderson with the cut, but then he wasn't quite timed right to just take advantage of that. He just needed to be a little bit closer to when that player goes down on the block and loses his feet. If you can just bust it right there, he's got a chance to get in the end zone.
Down towards 3 minutes, and North Dakota State has done a nice job eating a lot of clock here in the fourth quarter.
Play clock down to 3 again, so Davis.
Anderson stopped in his tracks.
But I mean, it's, you know, Darius is, we saw him out here. It's senior day. They've been able to get a record, you know, for Vra, and Carson Wentz got 1 snap at tailback. They're trying to get Anderson a touchdown here.
That will bring up 4th and goal from the 4. You'd have to suspect this is going to be another run. Anderson remains at tailback. Anderson gets the carry, and Darius trying to get some help from his offensive line, but he's going to come up about 2 yards short of the end zone.
Yeah, Sargent was even doing a little extra pushing for behind to try to get number 8 in the end zone, but he got to the 2. But the Bison, those guys, like you said, Brian, did what they wanted or should have done in this position. Try to just take as much off the clock as possible. Got it all the way down to the 2, and there's only 2:14 left.
Darius Anderson finishing the day with 8 carries for 55 yards.
Congratulations, Lily, on that hot new golf cart. Congratulations.
So Lambert will bring the Missouri State offense back out. Inside handoff. Good burst by Jason Randall. Gained about 5 yards up to the 8.
Quentin McCoy playing a little defense now, number 2.
A guy that transferred in was a very light signee for North Dakota State.
He's playing right corner.
To Santa Rosa Junior College, originally from Dallas, Texas.
Keenan Hoddenfield from Ray in at safety right now.
Boy, big hit. Jalen Allison, or no, excuse me. Isaac Senescar. Safety from Florida, redshirt freshman.
Yeah, redshirt freshman.
3 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 hurries, 1 forced fumble, and a recovery for number 96 sophomore defensive end Greg Bernard. Your mutual player.
Missouri State also just very content here to hand the football off.
Oh, yeah.
Try to get out of here.
Keep it on the ground. Clock stops till they reset the chains. He picked up the first right there.
Cedric Miller getting the carry, another senior playing in his last game from Memphis, Tennessee.
It is the Great Clips play of the half. It's Lance Gunn going the distance for a Bison touchdown.
Miller again, nice burst through the hole. Taken down by Ford.
Cedric Miller, the ball carrier.
Down to 20 seconds
And
left.
no reason to snap it again.
This will be the last play of the season for Missouri State. It's caught by Willis Chambers. Time will run out, and that will do it. North Dakota State moving to 9-2 with a 55-0 win over the Bears of Missouri State. The Bears finishing the season at 1-10.
5 years in a row now, NDSU can claim the conference title.
They will have to share it with Illinois State once again. And most importantly, getting the bye week and hopefully getting home field throughout the playoffs. Both teams shaking hands, and certainly it's been a long season for Missouri State.
Yeah, but Missouri State, even as poor as this season went, you know that those guys are going to hop right back on the work wagon. There's only one way to get out of the hole that they're in right now, and that's just to work at it.
Beth Houle is standing by as Chris Kleiman approaches, and now Beth has Coach Chris Kleiman.
Coach, I have to go for the emotion, first of all. To get Carson out there, to get all of those guys, such a special moment that you got to get on the field today.
It really was. It's something that Carson and I talked about early in the week, and if we could do it, we were going to do it. He deserves it. He's the best player in FCS, and his season got cut short, but he needed to be recognized because if it weren't for Carson, I probably wouldn't be the head coach. So he knows how much he means to me.
Well, now he's a dual position threat as well. How about that? Your team able to get the job done today. The big point was win a football game, claim some of that Missouri Valley title. How proud are you of this group?
Unbelievably proud. 5 straight in this league is really hard to do. And hats off to our seniors, to our coaches, and all of our players for hanging through a lot of adversity this year and getting that big 5th one.
Go celebrate and enjoy, Coach. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Beth, thank you so much. And that will do it. North Dakota State, another Missouri Valley Conference Championship, 5 in a row. Wow. What a run the Bison are on. 55-0 your score. We'll be back to wrap things up from the Fargo Dome. You're watching KBLY and the NBC North Dakota Sports Network. Mike, 55-0 is your final. North Dakota State over Missouri State on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard as we take a look at our American Family Insurance hit of the game. Lake and Grain Agency.
It's going to be the guy rushing, just blowing past the left tackle, and that's Menard. He comes up with the sack and also the hit of the game. Yeah, when you can get a quarterback's head to snap like this, you know you got pretty good body into him.
That is your American Family Insurance hit of the game. We'll be back to take a look at your final stats and our Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game. Stay with us. You're watching NBC North Dakota Sports and KBLY. Back to wrap things up here at the Fargo Dome. Brian Shaw and Lee Timmerman. North Dakota State 9-2. Once again, Missouri Valley Conference champions after finishing league play 7-1 as we take a look at the final stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers.
Well, whenever you score 55 points, you know you're chewing up some yards, and that's what the Bison did. Got over 600 total yards, the 412 rushing yards today. It's kind of what Missouri State has done, giving up a lot of yards on the ground. The Bison certainly took advantage of that. Again, you know, in the stat department, it was a little bit of a slow start because the Bison didn't have to go very far to get those early touchdowns, and then things started to roll. But the 412 rushing yards since Easton Stick took over, that's the most. They had 397, I believe it was, at Southern Illinois. But yeah, anytime you're rushing for over 400, you're loving life.
Yeah, and Easton Stick, again, very efficient. 15 of 20, 189 yards, and 4 touchdowns in just over a half of play today against Missouri State. We took a look at our Nodak Mutual Insurance player of the game, and fitting that this guy got it because he put a lot of pressure on the quarterback early, and that is Greg Menard. Boy, would that guy have a nice start to the game. His speed rush was clearly a difference today.
He was disruptive, and we saw it on the hit of the game as well, and that's Menard coming in there for one of those sacks. He helped get a touchdown, a defensive touchdown earlier, as Menard he was all over the place. I mean, he leads the team in sacks. He was in the backfield again, and he's as good a player as any, as he just disrupted things, just rushing so hard. Speed rush, didn't have to worry too much about the run. He was going after the quarterback.
He is our Nodak Mutual Insurance player of the game, and North Dakota State again, hopefully home field throughout. Hopefully another trip to Frisco. The road to Frisco will come through Fargo, likely, LT. But what are your parting thoughts as, you know, we finish up this regular season?
Well, you finish up strong. You know, we go back to the game that was here against USD, the loss, when things didn't look well. The Bison didn't play well. After the game, a couple days later, you find out, oh my goodness, your quarterback has a broken wrist. What's going to happen now? Well, what's going to happen is the Bison sucked it up, played together, and kept winning big games on the road.
It's been a pleasure to bring it to you all season long. Thanks to all the guys in the truck, all the sponsors, all the people that have a hand in bringing you Bison football at home, on the road, all season long. And hey, stick with us. We'll still have the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show throughout the playoffs as well. North Dakota State finishing up in style. 55-0 is the final. For Beth Hool, Lee Timmerman, our entire NBC North Dakota sports crew, I'm Brian Shaw saying so long from the Fargo Dome. It's been a fun regular season. We'll see you in the playoffs. So long, everybody.